Here we go. All right, guys, welcome back. This is Dustin Nemos, and today I have, is it True TV, True Media?
True Reporting, and my name's
True
Thomas.
Reporting. Thomas, all right, welcome with us, Thomas.
Hey,
And
man.
tell us about your channel. Introduce yourself.
Okay, like you said, it's True Reporting, and been doing this since January. I've been following the Q phenomenon, the movement, whatever you want to call it, for since it began. I do a whole bunch of other stuff. I go into local news, mainstream news, and conspiracy type situations, which all my subscribers know. So it's fun to be here, man. I'm glad that you gave me the opportunity to do this for channels that are growing, that are getting a following. But this will definitely help, and I think that's what all of this is about: is just helping one another.
This was also my way of getting back at the people censoring me when I was starting. So
yeah,
help
totally.
pull someone else up,
Yeah,
So,
man.
tell us, everyone kind of is Q centric. So tell us kind of about how you got into Q. And then I know you have a bunch of questions for me, but I just wanted
Sure.
to let my audience get to know you a little bit.
Sure. So the way I got into it was, I think through a way a lot of people got into it was the videos of Joe Biden and the whole
Mm,
Pizzagate situation, Pedogate, whatever you want to call it. But, I was asleep. It's programming to keep you asleep if you actually follow that whole liberal lifestyle, that SJW lifestyle. That's nothing but brainwashing. I wouldn't say I was to that point, but I was definitely, um, asleep. And I think the whole being shown these videos of Joe Biden and
it was
Barack
creepy.
Obama, all that kind of stuff, that really woke me up. And then you go into the Marina Abramovic and spirit cooking, and it's like, what is this reality? Because it's obviously real. They're doing it in the Oval Office, and then the WikiLeaks comes out with the emails, and that was the nail in the coffin right there for me. I didn't know which way was up or down,
You
and then
kind
you're forced to go in and look into this stuff. If you have any type of, logical, way of life,
Yeah.
you're forced to go into it.
And you kind of go at it first. You're like, how bad can it be? And then, oh God, they're raping and eating children or something like that. So it's bad.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of shocked with the reality. And then I think that wakes people up a lot. But basically, yeah, I mean, I like to hear people's stories about kind of how they learned about Q, if they have a walkaway movement, like they were a Democrat before maybe, or if they've had any sort of censorship or problems out of YouTube or Twitter or
Sure.
Facebook.
Well,
Yeah.
I could tell you right off the bat, the biggest one was, I was pretty much starting off, and this is the whole thing with old, my viewers know it as DH, old David Hogg.
Yep.
And I did a video on that, not thinking, because I was small. I had like 2,000 subscribers. I did a video on it. It goes viral. And then and then YouTube, got the algorithms or whatever, saw it. And then, it hit me with a strike. Then if you talked about anything that had to do with Broward County
Yep.
or that school, they hit me with the second strike. And then, I was on the defense, so I just laid low, kind of just did like even kill videos about just whatever. And snuck my way up to get rid of those two strikes. But that was definitely censorship. And they hit me with bullying. Can you believe
Yeah.
that?
I got a bunch of those
Bullying
too.
for what? Just saying maybe what happened?
Yeah.
I wasn't talking garbage about David Hogg. It's just all their rhetoric. They're I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's their way to censor and to justify it to the press later.
Yeah.
But for those who are watching and listening, this is actually kind of a reversal interview. He had questions
Yes, it is.
that he wanted to ask me. So now that you know about him, I'm going to let him ask away.
Yeah, man. So you used to be on YouTube, right? Isn't that the case? Because I remember seeing videos of you before, with your cats and stuff. Or you still do that?
Yes, I do. I'm on YouTube. I'm Nemo V now. My main account was banned at the same time with the Florida stuff. I hit it hard. I came out with all of the
Mhm.
links with the police pulling out whatever that was duffel bag was and throwing it in the truck. the teacher talking about how there was a armored soldier with a gun she's never saw, and the kid saying that they talked to the kid and he had no weapon, he was in the hallway. I went through all of it, and apparently that was not allowed. So that was when we call it the purge. Many of us were banned. So
Sure. I mean, that if you have any type of sense, even if you didn't even know anything about it and someone showed you that stuff, I don't see how someone could, push it aside and just not believe it, But there are people out there who do, a lot of people that are still asleep. It's sad, but that's good you're back up, man. Like I didn't know the new channel, so I'm definitely gonna view
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
it's hard. I should have named it something better, but just Nemo V, and people found me. I'm back up to about 18,000. I was at like 46,000 before,
Yeah,
somewhere
dude.
in that vicinity. But the thing though that it taught me was to go everywhere with it instead of putting all my videos on YouTube. I lost a lot of good content and videos I can't get back. Whereas now I'm on BitChute, DTube, Steemit, Vimeo. I'm everywhere. They'll never stop me.
Yeah, dude. It sounds like you're one of the most passionate ones out there, because there's a lot of people who are, I don't know, I'm a little hesitant to say this stuff, but there are channels out there that what I tell my subscribers is that these people are bought and paid for, and they're not who they say they are. Would you concur about that? Or maybe
I may be biased this week, but yeah, I think so.
yeah, I mean, it's just common sense to me that
Well, you
these,
catch them in lies. You catch them in lies. You call it out calmly, politely, and then they still continue the lie. That's what gets you.
yeah, but other than that, correct. But it's not grassroots. Do you find these people to be grassroots, like me and you, like just doing this out of like, your office or whatever? And the way that some of these people talk, man, they don't sound like a normal person. It's almost like they've been like groomed to put out these channels to defy the movement. Would you agree on some of that?
Here's my thought on it. Like, I deal with a lot of their viewers, and their viewers, universally, I have not had a single one of their viewers approach me in a polite manner. I mean, I've had some of them occasionally phrase questions that you could say aren't that rude or were
Mhm.
phrased okay, but the same person will then have like 12 other posts that are completely rude. So this is what I've come across, and it seems like their viewers are just hate. So if they are grassroots, it's from some sort of hate background. That's
Right.
what they attract, and that may be a grassroots thing. But I don't know if there's something more behind them, or maybe they're getting paid, or uh, I can say that Isaac admitted he lost his audience and his income, but he's still doing videos. He's still attacking Q more than he's doing the news. So I don't know,
Why did that happen?
because he went against Q about the same
I
time.
understand that, but
Yeah,
why did he go against Q?
because the best thing that I can think of is that he kind of followed Alex Jones and Corsi down that road, that they took people off when Alex told people that he had spoken to Q on the phone, and that Q wasn't that big a deal, and that Zach was better than Q. Basically, how he's trying to phrase it, with his constant trying to equate Zach to Q. Zach's basically a nobody with public information, and Corsi came out with his lies as well, like calling Q a socialist, trying to demonize the movement, inserting his own information into the Q decodes.
Correct.
Um,
Were
that
you were
was
you with any part of that, like
I
the
had
moderators or anything
of the. Are you talking about the
of the
24/7?
stream of the CBTS stream? Do
Oh
you?
no, I've been on the channel before as a guest. So
Yeah.
the last time I was on there, I think, is when I had been banned, and they actually kind of got mad and kicked me out for a day. So it wasn't too bad, but they didn't want me talking about the Florida stuff and getting their channel banned as well. And I
Sure.
understand.
So it is fact that Corsi did manipulate those posts. That's fact.
As I understand it, he admitted to that. I can't remember the quote, but he kind of admitted that he was inserting his own narrative into the Q framework. So he was sort of mixing in info, and he's very Zionist. He's very pro-Israel, which kind
Sure.
of impacts his loyalties a little bit. Which
Sure.
it's the only reason I can understand that Corsi would go against Q, is perhaps that Q is coming after Israel at some point. But it just doesn't seem to be a strong argument. So I don't know what the thought is there. Maybe Alex Jones is losing market share to Q. I don't know.
you know that a report came out. It might have been last summer about Alex Jones that he was supposedly being was Mossad, right? So which or being paid by Mossad
So I've
somehow.
I've heard that he had some kind of ties to Zionism, and over the years I've been the one that would defend Alex Jones from these kind of things, and I would
Sure.
say my argument would have been, Alex may not cover Israel very all the time, but at the same point, I mean, he covers almost all of the big issues. So I would have defended Alex. I even defended Alex Jones from Q himself when Q came out with that post about performance artists, because that's not a fair argument to characterize what Alex does when he dresses in Obama face or Joker face or
Yes.
whatever it is
Yeah.
as
It's
yeah,
hilarious.
it's
He
funny, but it's
totally reminds me
satire.
of just like a wrestler. Like
Yeah,
that's like he's entertainment. You
but when
know.
he, but when he lies about Q now, I can never trust Alex Jones about Q again. So,
Absolutely not.
so something's going on there. But we know Q proves himself, and Alex
Yes.
has street cred because he's been around for 20 something years, and I've been watching him since I was too young to hit on women. So
Sure.
I hadn't even
Sure.
had chest hair when I started watching Alex Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's. I mean, yeah. He's kind of like the that that threshold, for a lot of people to kind of get into the whole conspiracy world. But
and he's got influence, and he helped Trump get elected. So there's a lot
dude, yeah.
in his camp. But this we can't trust him on Q for some reason.
But isn't Jerome Corsi on Infowars payroll?
Yep,
And
he's their head DC
Jerome,
guy.
if Alex Jones is, I'm speculating. I think we both are. Who knows? But
Yeah.
if he is being paid by Mossad, and then Corsi works for Infowars, who's on the payroll, then he's obviously compromised too.
Well, it would
Correct?
be the kind of thing that Corsi would consider probably an honor if he's pro-Israel like that. So I don't know his opinion on Mossad personally, but I imagine if he's pro-Israel, then he would be okay with working with their government, and he would consider it to be a good thing. But I imagine that he wouldn't want it to be publicly known. So I haven't seen the sauce on that. But
Sure.
if they're lying, I could believe anything. I've already had my faith broken in them.
Correct. So I wanted to switch gears. So we haven't had Q post since July 4th, right?
Yep.
So what do you think is going on? Is this another, is he gone? Not for I wouldn't hope for good because there's so much going on right now with
No.
Trump in the UK.
I've even heard that he died. There was some kind of DC
That is so
guy
stupid.
that got in an accident. I think somebody in the White House got in a car wreck or something.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I don't think Q is gone or dead. I think we just have what we need at the moment, and we're
sure.
waiting. I think there's a big waiting game right now for the midterms, and that's basically what we're waiting on.
Sure.
Each side has their game. They've got their plan ready. After the midterms, we're going to see more action, and that's to help avoid this argument that this is playing politics. Like if we arrest a bunch of Democrats right before midterms, that looks more like tyranny and
Correct.
trying to win versus, and they'll use it for that, and they'll call the whole world, we'll start calling us tyrants and everything else, and it'll just look bad. So we have to do it delicately for sure.
Okay. I totally get that. I'm not saying that he was going to be gone for good. I knew it
Yeah.
wasn't. You consider it more than one person, correct? Like you consider that this is a team of
Well,
individuals?
I'm not a stupid person, but I can't keep up with Q for sure. So maybe they're just a 190 IQ, but I imagine that it's probably a team of people, especially with the kind of time and research it would require just to create these puzzles.
Well, we see Q plus,
Yeah.
Q plus more
More
going
leadership,
with
maybe.
military.
A lot of rah-rah stuff from Q plus too.
Yeah, we also saw, post, 41020. That
Hmm.
that stays in my head a lot. It really does. If you go back and look at that post, I don't maybe there was a couple of 41020s. If you go back and look at that, which I have done a good bit of times, I don't remember what it says, but it's very much the way that our president really talks. The
Hmm.
the whole the cadence and everything of the text is just like what he would say.
Yeah,
Is do you believe that he has talked through us through 4chan?
I think so. I mean, sure, it would only stand to reason because he would want to kind of see how his pet project is going. I'm sure
Yeah.
I mean, we know that he likes to stay up late and call or to answer, answer the phones at the White House switchboard and talk to people. We know these kind of things. He's the blue collar billionaire. He wants to be involved. He wants feedback from the people. So he's definitely probably doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. He's probably communicating with us in some manner, and those speeches from Q Plus seem to be more inspirational rather than day to day posting.
Yes. I agree. Have you been to a rally? Have you been to?
I've only been as a poll watcher. I haven't been to any of the rallies. I wanted to
I
start going to the thing that Tracy Bean set up, and I would have possibly met Trump himself, because Tracy got to, but I had a newborn at the time, so I didn't get to.
I actually I was at the South Carolina one, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and I met Tracy there.
Mm.
Just it was random, and she's a sweetheart, and she's very I asked her a bunch of stuff about, Q and about Corsi and, yada yada yada. But changing gears again. So we have Trump in the UK. He's over there.
Mm.
You've seen the way he's bulldogging his way. Have you been looking at this?
Yeah, and the stupid float that they tried to put in the air.
Oh yeah, I
Kind of
mean
a
that's just
non-starter.
it's sad. It's embarrassing for them,
Yeah.
But what I was going to ask you is, does it appear that the Queen has lost power, or go ahead?
No, I was going to say that's interesting. They met, right? That
Yes.
definitely signifies something. I'm playing rule of fudge on this one because I don't know what that signifies just yet. I think when Q comes back with posts, he'll probably clue us into something there.
Because you see, there's people on both sides. Does Trump, is he, lacking etiquette? Is he, obviously he's not. He's obviously a genius, but is he just lacking etiquette? Because he obviously knows how to act around these, the elite.
Pompous
Yeah,
inbred
these people. I
royals.
mean, let's be honest, dude. This woman probably runs the world. Like that, in my.
He's one of the power brokers for sure.
Yeah, she is way more powerful than him, but I've never seen it to where she has been bulldog. Yeah, she's 196 years old, but she is being bullied, not bowing. Is he supposed to bow to her or kneel or something to her?
He's not Obama. Presidents aren't supposed to do that. But,
right.
I will say that I've heard the rumors that she's going to die soon. They're preparing that kind of news. They've got the new coinage out with the next king. So, maybe this is something. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just politics.
Could be.
I'm sure that he was probably disgusted just walking around and having to interact with these people. Sometimes you can watch the Trumps and you'll see that kind of look, like in the Pope situation, where they're like,
Sure.
I know what you're doing.
Sure. Yeah, I've seen the meme. Obviously, another thing that happened. I don't know how true this is, but I also saw that that Julian Assange is to be released from the embassy.
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Yes, I have definitely seen it. I will.
That's terrifying, actually.
He's being released from the embassy in Ecuador. Is this due to Trump being there? Because isn't the UK holding him there?
So possibly so, but here's my first thought. Like, unless he's being released with some sort of protection, he's going to be dead. Like the first minute he walks out the door, like they'll kill him or they'll grab him.
You don't think they'll entourage him? You don't think that they'll transport him back? Because Trump is there now.
I think Julian Assange is a big key to a lot of what's coming, and I think there's a huge amount of very powerful people that would like to see him meet a very unfortunate end.
Is he dead?
No, I don't think so. But when he leaves that embassy, his life would be in jeopardy without protection.
Is Seth Rich dead?
I guess so. The narrative that I follow suggests that Seth Rich was killed by either Debbie Wasserman Schultz or perhaps, or more recently, there's hints that Rosenstein was behind it. But we'll see. There's questions that need to be answered.
Okay, and I'm going to end things here. This is going to be my last question, and we don't have to talk about this if you don't want to. The whole this Lee Stranahan guy.
Yep.
I watched the whole thing. I watched 5 hours of it, and
you're a brave man.
Oh, and I mean, we've talked, through messaging, and you know, the way that he came at you, the way that he, I can't really explain it. He made it heated. He did that to the interview. You did not. But if you go back and you look at it, which I really hope that we can, I want to put a link or something, or if you can, since we're covering it, for people to watch it, because this guy's pretty he's not a nobody, right? This is the
No.
first I've heard of him. I saw what you were doing.
Yeah, he's a
not
known
nobody,
reporter.
right?
He's a known reporter, so I gave him, commendations for debating me on the topic in the first place. But I realized my mistake was to not have a moderator. I mean, obviously emotions got high. There was some rude things said, but it was also just a lot of logical fallacies and over talking and not letting me get a point across. So I think a moderator would have solved that problem. It would have turned out very differently. I don't
So
think I so much won as he did lose that.
You absolutely wrecked him, to be honest. With the whole Pizzagate, I mean, he obviously,
that was weird, right? He tried to imply I was a pedophile.
That was very strange. If you just heard Dustin, he just said that man, Lee Stranahan, accused him of being a pedophile. You are a father, and at me as a father looking at that, I wish I could have gone through the screen and just uppercutted him.
Well, so, generally I keep my composure a lot better. And in that video, I was getting heated and fidgety because I wanted to say some things and I wasn't able to say them. Oh my
God. I couldn't even imagine, man.
Yeah. But it's water off the back, maybe just the heat of the moment, but it did seem like there was some unfair framing going on. And it seemed like there was just a lot of, logical fallacies being thrown around knowingly. I mean, this guy is supposed to teach classes on this kind of stuff. So why is he violating his own obvious base, logical fallacy knowledge with debating?
It's okay.
I'm at my grandmother's visiting for the week, and her house phones are all over the place.
It's okay. I was going to say, I may have heard this wrong, but did he say that he used to be an erotic photographer?
So I didn't want to bring this stuff up. I saw the rumors in the build up because obviously both sides, people will get a little overzealous, and people began digging on him before we even did the debate. And I started seeing some of the images. I didn't bring this stuff up because I don't want to play that way.
Right.
And I didn't confirm it or anything like that. What I saw without having gone into it really deeply was, I guess, having done erotic poses with his wife and strangers in order to pay for teeth. And that sounds really, I'm really not trying to be rude when I say this. I think that just is the general gist of the memes that were going around.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some other stuff. I can't remember all of it. But, in his background, he lists, like video and editing and things of that nature. So I imagine that's where he got some of that experience.
Okay, so he's doing that, right?
Well, I don't know if he even still...
Not now, but I'm saying we're judges. I have a good judge of character, and the whole fact. I'm not speculating anything. I'm just, this is just my opinion. The fact that he really diverted away from the whole Pizzagate thing over and over and over, and wanted to just go off of that. I guess an article that he covered, that he did, a story he did. Yeah. He kept reiterating over and over and over about this.
It seemed like virtue signaling to me. Yeah.
Exactly. It was very strange to me. I'm watching it. I have a good judge of character. As I said, I use intuition and logic. And the whole time that you were talking about that, about the whole Pizzagate thing, in the back of my head was his talking of the words of, I used to be an erotic photographer. Just throwing that out there. Could mean nothing yet,
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he?
Connect the dots. And that was pretty much the only thing that really stood out to me from him. Everything else was extremely unprofessional. I think you would agree.
The weird thing about how it was is that he wanted to get away from the Q topic, which is our debate point, and what I had prepared for all of my notes. He wanted to jump into Pizzagate. I guess he thought maybe I wouldn't be prepared for that, and I was somewhat prepared for that. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least from general knowledge and memory, not so much like having my notes ready to prove each connection, but just in general knowledge and memory. And I have a whole folder of images and such where I can show people this is the kind of art that they're into. This is the connections. These are the statistics, memes that I use in debates and such. And that's when he tried to imply I was a pedophile. But it seemed that then he wanted to immediately jump away from Pizzagate as well. Like it was a big topic change and then another big topic change. And that was what like kind of threw me. Like I was trying to like get my points before he changed topics. And then I was like fidgeting. I've got notes I'm taking to points I want to rebut, 5, 6 things deep. I've got to get some of these out.
Would you say that he was projecting?
I don't know. Okay. People do it. It's common. I don't want to imply anything into his.
No, I'm not either. I'm just saying,
Yeah. It's possible. It was unfair. It was unfair, and I think it was intentionally framed that way because he was unable to debate me on the merit of the arguments.
Yeah.
And in his position, it would be bad to lose that debate, I guess. Better to sidetrack the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, man, I really appreciate it. I don't want to keep you too long. I've been looking at the clock. We've gone about 30 minutes. That's what I think we both agreed on. And you're a really good person, man. I can tell it. I can see it. And for you to give me this opportunity, it really means a lot, seriously. And, why don't we just, plug our stuff and then we can, head out of here. Would that be okay?
Absolutely. And all I want to add is where we go one, we go all, man. That's
yes, sir.
Go ahead.
What I was going to say is, I don't know if you saw it, but if you were watching the South Carolina rally, I had my shirt, where we go one, we go all. I was all over CNN, all over all the news channels, all over Reddit.
I think I recognized your face from somewhere. So that might be it, actually.
Yeah, it was, it was brutal out there. You can ask Tracy how hot it was. It was like 104 straight South Carolina humidity.
Oof. Yeah.
And it was beast, but we did it and it was a lot of fun. It was probably one of the most proud things I've ever done as a grown man. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude.
But anyways, I just want to plug myself real quick. If you guys want to check me out, follow me on Twitter at truereporting.com. Again, my name's Thomas, but I have my YouTube channel also is True Reporting, and usually post a couple times a day. And, again, I really appreciate it, Dustin. I really don't have any other plugs than that because, like I said, I've only been doing this for about 5.5 months. It's growing, man. It's growing. But, yeah, man, I wish you would plug yourself so,
Yeah, there's a lot of space out there in the market for us to take from the fake news corporate media. So
absolutely,
it's all about building up people who can take this challenge on and getting the names out there and having our own team. And that's kind of my goal. For those who don't know me, I'm Dustin Nemos, Nemo V on YouTube. I have all these different accounts across different websites now, like BitChute, Vimeo, DTube, so that they can't censor me again. DustinNemos.com is the best way to find me. And my Twitter is NemoV8. So you guys, everyone, I've enjoyed this. I'm glad you were able to, make this. And, it was great. I had a lot of fun.
Good, man. I'm glad. I wanted to make it really professional, and I hope we can do it again, maybe in the near future when Q comes back, right?
Absolutely. He'll be back, guys. Don't worry. I know everybody's stressing. I'm getting the messages. I wish Q would post. You guys are just bored. You have plenty of stuff to dig into. Don't freak out.
That's right, man.
It's a bit of a waiting game at this point, but brother, have a great night.
You too, man. Take care and be safe out there.